Happy Sabbath, children. Can you hear me? Okay, well, our story today comes from a little girl named Anita, and she's from Indonesia. As you see, we live all the way here in California, and she lives all the way around and all the way here. You can take a look on the map. You're here in California. You go all around, and she is all around on the other side, right there. You can pass it down. The rise and shine, Father said, poking his head onto the door of Anita's bedroom. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. Anita's eyes opened wide. It was time to get up. After breakfast, Anita put her favorite Sabbath dress. Then she slipped her bare feet into flip-flops. She gave her Sabbath shoes to Mother to put in a bag. Now she was ready for her trip to church. Anita climbed into a back seat on the family's white van. Father sat behind the steering wheel. It's time to go. Pastor Coombe went next to him, and Mother sat down with Anita in the back, and they were joined by 5 university students. At 5 a.m., the white band left the campus of Mount Clabat University, the Seventh-day Adventist school in Indonesia, where Father and Mother taught as American missionaries. The sky was dark, and few cars were on the street, but Father still had to take care of as he drove. He carefully steered around dogs, and sometimes he had to stop for a crowd to cross the road. Anita slept on Mother's lap. After an hour and a half later, Anita awoke as the white van came to a stop. She liked this part of the trip to church. She and the other boarded a small motor boat. As soon as they were sailing on the ocean, Anita looked across the dark blue water. Light was beginning to crack on the horizon as the sun arose. So she's doing all this before the sun even shows up, right? Warm, humid air brushed against her cheeks as the boat navigated gentle waves. After an hour, the boat docked on the island, and the group transferred to another boat for another 30-minute ride. That's a long way to get to church, isn't it? Then they landed on they landed on yet another island dotted with coconut trees and lush green jungle. If you can see on the map, they live around the little islands. Anita was glad that she had worn flip-flops and not her nice Sabbath school shoes. She had to walk along muddy trails. The mud between her toes felt good. But about 45 minutes later, Anita saw a small village with a small Seventh-day Adventist church. Sabbath school would begin soon, and the church was crowded with people. So after 3.5 hours, she's finally arriving at church. Isn't that amazing to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to be able to join the Sabbath people at church? The people greeted Anita and others with delight. Grandfathers, grandmothers smiled broadly. Fathers and mothers beamed with joy. They were so happy to welcome the visitors. They knew it had to take an effort to reach to their village. Little children waved excitedly at Anita, clustered around her. A little girl ran up and pinched the white skin of Anita. A little boy reached out a darkling arm and tuck on her red hair. Are you imagining Anita? She has red hair and she has white skin. The village children had brown skin and black hair, and this was their first time to see someone with white skin and red hair. Anita smiled back, and she didn't like the children touching her hair, but she didn't do anything. She understood that they were curious. Inside the church, Mother pulled Anita's Sabbath shoes from the bag, and Anita's flipped them on. Now she was ready to worship God. Late in the afternoon, Anita put back her flip-flops for the long trip back home. She was tired but happy. Every Sabbath, Father and Mother went to a different church to share Jesus. Every Sabbath, the trip was a new adventure. Best of all, every Sabbath, they go to worship God. Anita liked being a missionary trip. Do you like the story? Yeah, she went to a whole adventure just to get to church. Do you go to an adventure just to go to church? Just to come to church? Yeah, you do. You get up. Sometimes you have to eat breakfast, rush off bed. And it's an adventure just to get to church. But the good thing is that we're here at church to worship God, right? And Anita was testifying about Jesus as well, because she was nice to the people who were pinching her, who pulled her hair, but she understood that it was curiosity. Same thing Jesus says in, the Bible says in Luke chapter 4, verse 16, and Jesus went to church every Sabbath, and as it was his custom, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day. Anita could have stayed home, but she followed Jesus' example. And we hope to follow Anita's example as well, because we can testify about Jesus just to be kind to other children throughout the week. Thank you. Have a good Sabbath.